have to be patient.
You
Hi.
saw me. You saw the video
Welcome to
evidence
the
I sprayed those weeds.
Todd and Erin morning stream. By the way, it's a beautiful, what is it, the 24th, right? It is a beautiful spring day in Salt Lake City on April 24th. Just in case you're watching this on demand and you're going back on the shows to find out where it came off the rails.
Too late.
You need to go back.
Keep going further.
Keep going back further. Okay.
You made me cackle first thing out of the gate.
It's springtime. It's springtime. And you know what that means? Enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to Wild Kingdom. I am your host. My name is Todd. We are in Utah for spring. Ah, spring, spring, spring. The birds returning have only a limited food supply, like berries from the mighty mountain ash. Supplemented by the dry berries from the vine we like to call vines. Once gorged on these berries, the birds would take flight and nest themselves in a magnificent, majestic tree as this sycamore. And then the magic would happen. All together in synchronicity, they would stop and take an incredible dump all over my car. This is the world of the Wild Kingdom. Hello,
That's so
and welcome
true.
to
So
Wild
true.
Kingdom.
That was
I
me
am
too.
your
I made
host.
that 2
My
years
name
ago. It's the first time I realized my hair was thinning.
We couldn't park under that blasted tree for like 4 months at a time.
Yeah.
It was not great.
What else? What else is going on?
are you kidding?
Gas prices. Gas
No.
prices. First of all, gas prices
Okay.
went up 70 cents in the last 40 days.
Why? Did they explain why?
Well, they
I've
always
noticed
say
that
the
too.
same thing. Oh, we shut a refinery down to clean it.
No,
Oh,
it's
there's
because it's
a
turning
lot
into
of
summer and you want to
demand.
gouge
There's so
everyone.
much demand for gas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, shut up. Seriously, I got a 30-gallon tank.
You don't remember anything, do you?
Oh, is this the thing you're going to tell them about that I did?
No, I was lying in
I
bed and
know
I
what
sat
it
there
is.
and
You
heard the
told
whole
me.
thing and I went, I can't freaking believe this. So I wasn't awake enough to actually make a note on my phone, so I actually wrote on my hand, don't forget Flipper. So when I woke up in the morning, I went, oh my gosh, that's right. Okay, so you woke me up and you were singing.
I didn't wait. I didn't go, hey, Erin, wake up.
No, but you were singing in this delightfully clear, high-pitched voice, and you were singing Flipper, the song to the old TV show Flipper.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
And I mean, you went through the whole thing. I
Okay,
didn't even
so-
know all of the words, and you clarified it because
I-
you went through a full chorus.
I thought she was a liar.
Then there was the bridge, and then back to it.
So I went online, and because I didn't know all the words. And
Oh,
yet
you had it all.
I sang them, and I looked it up, and it was just like, that. Why would I sing that? Why would I sing
When could it have been the last time you saw that show? Like 40 years
call
ago?
him Flipper. Flipper faster than lightning. Everyone knows. How do I know? He's smarter than you. Whatever.
Well, it was, and then I finally started laughing. And
Lives
you,
in a world full of wonder, flying there under the sea. And then if you want the finish, it goes like this. I just added that to my repertoire. Let's remember the tick and the dolphin.
and so finally I started
So it's just
laughing.
weird.
And you did this little voice, and you went, you're laughing at me. And you flipped your little shoulder like this. You flounced away from me, and you fell back asleep.
That's because you didn't appreciate the art.
I guess not. But
How-
I did.
how
I was
the-
like, I have got to remember
How
that.
did the hell did this happen?
And you had all the lyrics. I mean, you sang the full song. There was no hesitation. It was all there.
I don't remember dreaming anything.
The whole thing.
I might be possessed by something. I'm not
It was a
sure.
little troubling.
I
Okay.
saw this in the news. It really bothered me.
Well, it's just the fact that he didn't seem to see it as a problem because the video is still up on his Facebook page.
Dr. Oz driving in New Jersey, right? He's
Mehmet
driving
Oz.
down the turnpike. Go ahead and roll this. We're going to talk over this, by the way.
Yeah, and this is, he first came to fame with Oprah, and now
Oh my
he's
gosh.
like the supposed help.
These kids were
The bus
going.
is on fire.
Kids are
There's
going to New York City to see a show.
children running away.
Yeah.
Okay, on fire.
This is him with his camera.
Okay. Now here's the thing that I would like to point out to you. He drives by the bus burning and all of the students, and
Right.
while he videotapes the bus burning.
Right.
Never once does he offer aid to any of the children. There were children who had smoke inhalation and minor burns, and he's a physician.
Okay.
He is a physician. And he didn't bother to offer medical aid. He just talked to the bus driver and then left going, glad it all worked out.
I noticed he kept someone between him and the bus the whole time. Whatever happened to, is there a doctor in the house? Is there a doctor on the plane?
He's driving by these running children who are racing out of a burning bus.
Could have been burned. Someone could have had
there actually were children with smoke inhalation and minor burns.
The point is...
And he's a doctor.
What the hell?
And there's no sense of irony. It's not like he missed the fact that perhaps you could have offered aid, you being a physician of some kind.
Oh, he plays one on TV. I get it.
No, he does have medical training, but the point is that
evidently
for anyone who's supposed to be
the
compassionate guy who cares about everyone's well-being, did it occur to you at any point to offer medical aid to any of these children? And he still doesn't see anything weird about it because it's still up on his Facebook page. We pulled it. But it was like, okay.
All right. Feel better?
Yeah, but it was just so weird.
Okay.
Best and worst entry-level jobs here in Utah. Are you interested?
Now, is this just Utah or is this the world?
It's nationwide, but Utah in particular has.
Okay.
For some reason, we actually had the most exceptional high and lows.
Right.
Because I guess in Utah.
This is one of the things that people, I am a defender of the millennials because every generation has its challenges, right? We had hippies, and then we had yuppies, and then we had all this stuff. And the millennials are facing a thing where they're probably going to have 5 careers during their life. And that education, how do you educate for that? And then once you graduate, where do you go with that? Because that job might not be there.
It's kind of tricky. Best entry-level jobs, they say now, are systems engineer, electrical engineer, hardware engineer, engineers. Engineers is pretty clear.
Like,
web applications developers.
Of course.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, of course, the lowest, welders. Floor assemblers.
Whoa.
It's interesting. It's all the very old school,
Welders.
time-honored traditions of
they're
tool and die
craftspeople.
maker, carpenter, boilermaker, floor assembler, welder. All of those are way at the bottom. Interestingly, tax attorneys, while not on this immediate list, had the highest median starting salary at $96,247, and the lowest was, of course, the welders at $16,314. Isn't that weird?
The lawyers make that much because they have to buy friends because no one likes them.
And here is the deal. Web application developers have the 10 best entry-level jobs, but computer operators have a very grim outlook. 22% of them are going to be cut by 2020. So apparently that part won't be as important anymore.
I feel bad that the crafts
Yeah, all the craftsmen were at the lowest starting
was
salaries.
the carpenters and the
Yeah, all the people who did the time-honored crafts that matter. And when the zombie apocalypse happens, will be very much in demand. And then the web developers, you're gonna be out there harvesting crops because no one cares about you anymore. But yeah, it was kind of sad to me too.
straighten that out. Zombie's going to eat your brains.
See, it works out for everyone.
All right, let's get some more information with Daisy, shall we?
All right, Daisy's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by Fink & McGregor. Mortgages made simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. Also by Brio Technologies, your experts in lighting, sound, and video. You can go to brioaudiovisual.com. And by the New Millennium Financial Group. If you don't have a free plan yet on how to get started on your financial future, these are the guys to help you. Go to utahsfinancialplanner.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Hello, everyone. Here's what's making news on Tuesday, April 24th on GephartDaily.com. A 25-year-old Leighton man was arrested early Sunday morning after he crashed his pickup truck into a home in Davis County. The truck destroyed the wall of an infant's bedroom and actually sent the sleeping child in her crib flying across the room about 20 feet. Police say the driver of the vehicle, identified as 25-year-old Stephen Briones of Leighton, was heavily intoxicated with a blood alcohol level of 0.198. That's nearly twice the state's legal limit. Neither the infant or the driver were seriously injured. Damage to the home was estimated at $50,000. 4 adults and a juvenile are facing charges of aggravated assault and aggravated robbery following a strong-arm robbery in Liberty Park on Sunday. Police say the incidents occurred just before 9:15 p.m. near 601 East and 1300 South when the suspects attacked a man and stole his backpack. The victim tried to resist, but was severely beaten. A man who tried to come to his rescue was also beaten. Bike officers arrived in the area and observed a group of 5 males matching the suspect descriptions and took them into custody without incident. They're now facing multiple felony charges. And sheriff's deputies in southern Utah are trying to figure out who left 2 mortar rounds lying on the ground outside Escalante. The discovery was made after Garfield County Sheriff James Perkins received an email from a concerned citizen saying they had spotted 2 objects, thinking at first they were actually bowling pins. Demolition experts were called in to neutralize the mortar rounds. Investigators are still trying to determine who left them there. And time now for a look at your Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's premier audiovisual specialists, and by Magic Wash, home of the long-lasting ceramic car wash, with an outlet in South Ogden and a brand new facility on Antelope Drive in Layton. If you're inclined to wash your car, this is a good week to do it. We're looking at blue skies and sunshine with temps reaching the 80s heading into the weekend. There's a slight chance of pop-up thunderstorms, but mainly in the higher elevations. Otherwise, we're looking at a great forecast, so get out there and enjoy it. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GetPartDaily.com. For now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
Did you see that 78 degrees?
No, I'm afraid to get excited because I think Mother Nature will punish me if I get too excited about it. So
Time to go out yard.
I have like a low key, like that's really
Do
great.
some yard work. Take off the shirt. Last time I did that, my kid walked up and goes, "Thanks, Millennial."
Oh, the refreshing honesty of youth. Millennial Financial Group. It's interesting because whenever you think about what you're going to do in your future, it seems like it's a really long way off. And then you start realizing, yeah, but if I were working harder on it now, by the time I actually got to the point where someday I might actually retire, I would have a lot more money. See, here's the deal. It's not one of those things that's really taught a lot in school. Maybe your parents never told you about it. And that's why the New Millennium Group is so important, because they can give you a free analysis, go through some ideas with you, talk to you about what's going on. And these are the people that can guide you into a retirement where you're actually going to have a great time. You have to go to utahsfinancialplanner.com, get some more information, see what they're about, and then contact them for an evaluation. It's going to change everything about how you choose to live that last third of your life.
All right, so I want to talk about this because I was watching Bizarre Foods last night, and it's not really Bizarre Foods anymore. It's called Andrew Zimmer goes to other countries, and he's like, "Oh, this is good, this is good, this is different. Check this out."
Every time he has the phrase, "This has a fecal texture," I'm like, I'm not going to watch the show anymore.
He calls it barnyard, and that's if you're eating like innards. So anyway, this is the thing that I was
have
interested. Yeah.
All right, this is cool. They've got
Chitlins.
something.
That's what I was looking for.
I've had those.
They're awesome.
In the South.
Little barnyard-ish.
And as I was trying to eat them, the woman proudly said, "These are authentic chitlins." I didn't know there was a synthetic kind, but I wish I'd had those instead. It couldn't have been worse.
I don't think there is.
No.
All
Okay.
right.
The Global Good Fund, I absolutely love this. They've had this big series of companies from around the world that have partnered this initiative, including Amazon.com and Apple, and they've been looking for social entrepreneurs, basically social entrepreneurs who want to make the world a better place. These are the people that figure out how to do malaria drugs for cheaper, or how to make a mosquito netting, or
water filtration.
Exactly. Well, this one I think is just fantastic. This girl has had 399 rejections because she saved all the letters, but she had a vision. She went, "I totally know this would work. This is smart."
Right.
So she sent her business proposal repeatedly to people and people after people after people. Now I went, "No, you're nuts."
Right.
Her name is Rose Wang. She's the CEO and co-founder of Chirps Chips. Chirps Chips normalize eating insects.
Oh, gosh.
Their goal is they want you to be able to eat a sustainable food system.
Oh, my gosh.
Where insects can be grown in urban areas and fed on food waste.
It's
and
cheddar.
Well, think about it. Unlike factory farming, insects can pretty much be raised humanely. No one really cares. Antibiotics and growth hormones, don't eat any of those.
And they're gluten-free.
Chirps Chips use crickets milled into a flour to make a high-protein tortilla chip, and apparently they're delicious. People who tasted them at the gala said they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
3 times more protein, 40% less fat than a regular chip, and they say that if you're substituting animal protein with insect protein, it's going to reduce land and water usage and greenhouse emissions. She said she got the idea because a friend of hers in graduate school said, "I dare you to eat this fried scorpion."
Right.
And she's like, "That is so horrifying."
Right.
And she said, all right, so she didn't, and she said, it tasted like shrimp scampi to me. She went, okay, so if I got over my, fear of this, maybe
Right.
I could get other people over it
Right.
too. But that really is genius. I would eat one. I don't like the bug eating and dare eating foods because I've had haggis and chitlins. I feel like I've earned my place not to. But this one I would do because I think her logic is so sound.
You know that so many cultures have relied on insects for protein. In Thailand, people catch tarantulas, and they deep fry them, and
them on a
evidently
stick.
they taste like crab. But the crickets, tons of crickets, you can raise them in a box.
Yeah, really.
Mealworms, you can raise them in a box.
Pretty much that was not a really tough thing. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, no, this is what they did.
I just
That's
think
what
that's
they've
so
always
smart.
done. I know.
I mean, really, we would taste it, right? I'm going to actually go get a bag. I'm sure I can find them.
Oh yeah.
We'll have a taste test between you and me and Daisy.
Yeah, it's the big slugs that are still moving, and you bite the head off. Not so much.
No.
But if you dry it and salt it, I probably will eat it.
We'll give it a shot. All right, so we are back to Christopher's Prime Steakhouse. We wanted to say a big fat thank you to you for all that you've done for us over this last year.
It's so easy.
3 million views in 1 year. We were kind of stunned. So this is the deal. I was actually meeting with Melissa, who's the general manager, and she was telling me some of the plans and some of the menu stuff, and I was just sitting there dying quietly inside.
Did she feed you?
No.
She was busy.
The important thing is this. She's like, we love the dinner with friends. We want to keep it up. It's so much fun to see people come in and laugh and talk. And everyone always kind of knows it's the winning group. And they kind of take special care of them because they know that it's like it might be the first night that they've been out for a while. And so it's really fun to see for them. It's fun for us to have you win. So if you would like to enter to win, all you have to do is just mention something about Christopher's or steak, or I don't care what you want to do. Just mention any of it.
There you go.
And then you're automatically entered on the Gephardt Daily Facebook page, the Gephardt Approved Facebook page, and our Todd and Erin Facebook page. I don't care when you're watching this. When you sign up, you're entered for the next week's
There is a
drawing.
person coming up, a story about them where they have been bit by everything.
Everything.
Isn't that cool?
I feel bad for them.
And that's coming up after this.
All right. Of course, this break brought to you by Fink and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com for more information. Also by StayFit Wellness Clinic. This is the perfect time to get a personal health analysis from StayFit. They can go over supplements and medications and all the things that can help straighten out your body and help you have an amazing summer. And of course, by the New Millennium Financial Group. This is a great time to make sure that you know what's going on with your retirement, and even if you have one, because that's a big plus, just go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
All right, so
She threw coffee on passengers, overturned a drink cart. Now, I would like to point out, how heavy are drink carts?
oh yeah, well,
They're like stupidly...
but wait, if it's in the aisle, you can't tip it. You got to go the long way.
Long way. So I'm
So-
talking like massive, super.
She's crazy.
Strength.
She's crazy
And then she
woman.
started running up and down the aisle, screaming her lungs out. So they set her next to an air marshal and said, "You sit down here and be good." And apparently she attempted to strangle the air marshal. Once again, a bad plan.
Who is armed, and he's on the plane to keep people like crazy woman here.
And look at her face. I'm sorry, but look at this face. This is the face of a woman who goes, "I don't care. It was great. Whatever." That is not a woman who is upset for her future or concerned of the results of her actions.
She's the one that kind of like, I want to lick an elephant.
She,
Just,
she does.
she's
kind of got
there's
that
a lizard
look.
in my pants. She just doesn't even know what she's saying.
Well, there you
She
go.
grabs the head of who are armed once
Yeah.
again.
So I guess he handcuffed her to the chair for the remainder
move.
of the thing. But I'm still impressed with the drink cart. Maybe that's what she's smiling at. I upended a drink cart.
And then she's like, I got a yak in my oval. I don't know. That's
was
my
pretty good, though.
my impression of a weird person.
No, she was. Yeah, I think crazy and mugshot of the week both count on her.
Here's
That
a
was
guy
pretty
not
good.
here's a guy not to hang out with.
How does this poor man do this to
Guy was
himself?
boogie boarding
Okay,
in Hawaii.
it happens.
Got bit by a shark.
Where?
In Hawaii. I
No,
told
maybe
you.
like his leg or.
Such an old joke.
You are so stupid, Steve.
So anyway, he got
Ow.
bit, and they took him
Oh.
to the hospital. Here he is. There it is.
That would be his head. He got hit on the head and the leg.
Well, actually, no. The head's something else.
Oh, really?
Yeah. See,
What do you mean?
That was the shark. And,
Okay.
And this is a 20-year-old, and he was in Grand Junction, Colorado. That's where he came from. Mm-hmm. And 4 years ago, he had a close encounter with a black bear.
Okay.
7 months ago, he was bit when he was in Colorado. The bottom picture is the head wounds that he received as he was fighting back. Let's go down the list so far, shall we?
Yeah.
Shark.
Yeah.
Black bear.
Oh, gosh.
The bear grabbed the back of my head and started pulling me through the woods.
The head's a bad one.
Fighting back. He dropped me and stomped on me a little bit. And he was able to get back to his group, and they scared it away.
Okay.
He got 9 staples in his skull for that one. Another time, he's bitten by a rattlesnake.
Wait, what?
3.5 years ago. He was hiking in Utah, right here. He got sick for a couple days. He did not go to the hospital.
Okay, note to self and all of us watching, being bitten by a rattlesnake is pretty much a mandatory visit to the ER.
It's usually like swell up and it's awesome. Awfully bad.
Yeah, necrotic tissue, when it's dying off your body. He did not go to the hospital.
Did go to the hospital. He's a tree trimmer from Colorado. So I have 2 questions now. There are 2 major questions.
God bless this man.
Okay.
I don't know he must be meant for something because
It's like the guy who gets hit by lightning a couple times. Now, there's 2 ways to look at this.
Okay.
Number 1 is he the guy you want to hang out with because he gets all the biting?
yeah,
Or is he the person to stay away from because
he
he
gets
gets all the biting?
biting. Yeah.
I'm going to go with,
I'm going with number 1.
I'm not going to hang out with
He's
him.
like a living, breathing, bulletproof shield. Are you kidding? I'm going with him.
What's the Bruce Willis movies?
Die
Die Hard. You don't want to hang out with him either.
No, things seem to go terribly wrong.
Terrorists show
Yeah.
up out of nowhere. I wouldn't hang out with him. I'm sorry.
Oh, that poor kid.
All right, this is just a brilliant move, and I've actually heard about this before.
Okay,
but
I'm not going to lie. I've done
You
this
would
when I was
do
in college
this.
and I was
Oh,
poor,
you
but
would so do this.
I did not have access to the ability to do what she did. But haven't you ever gotten a parking ticket and you pay it and then maybe you still have it and you might stick it on your windshield so
That's pretty much
they
my
go
story, so
by-
there you go.
no, but there's more to it. Go on.
Well, she's in China, and she was doing this on a regular basis, and she parks in a no parking zone. She throws her fake ticket on the windshield.
Parking is, by the way, a nightmare, especially where she lives. In the Sichuan province, it's unbelievably bad. Go on.
So cops would go up and they'd maybe check the date on it or whatever, and she'd print a new one every day
Forge a
before
new one.
she left her house.
See, I didn't have that skill. I'm jealous.
And unfortunately, the car next to her when she did it was an off-duty plainclothes cop.
Because if she'd been caught before, she would just go, oh, someone must have done it to me as a prank.
Right.
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
He had his dash cam on. There you go. So the thing.
I believe the
so don't do
combined
that.
fine was, what was it, like 3 years worth of salary or something?
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Where's my story about
There you
outer
go.
space?
I don't know. Which
Did
one
I
are
get
you
rid of
looking
it?
for?
Because it's my favorite story of the day.
And it should be.
It's about Uranus. Maybe lift it outside. Hang on.
Oh,
I really don't.
honey, it's really, literally right in front of you.
Okay, good. All right, let's talk about Uranus. First of all, in our galaxy, in our solar system, and it's been overlooked for a long time. And now they've.
Except for it's the butt of a lot of really good jokes.
Can we be a little more scientific?
No.
Evidently, there's gas on Uranus. They've figured that out. Unpleasant smelling, more like sulfur eggs. Sulfur chloride, which comes from eggs on your Uranus. Basically, the gas is then has been detected, and it basically forms a cloud around Uranus. And it's in the lower atmosphere. Unlike the other ones, the other planets that have the same thing, but Uranus is different. It likes to have, here it is, hydrogen sulfide is what we're talking about Uranus. Guess, what are you, a child? Jupiter and Saturn have a bigger saturation of gas, whereas Uranus, the cloud decks form more of a condensation above the planet, hence leaving room for more gas around Uranus. So, welcome to Todd's Science Corner. Trust me, there's something coming up in the show that is even more scientific than gas on Uranus. You're a disgrace to all scientists everywhere.
Oh, God.
And Bill Nye, the science guy, he knows about gas on Uranus. I'm sorry. This is what he does. He's a scientist.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Suffocation and exposure in negative 200 degrees Celsius. The atmosphere made of mostly hydrogen, helium, and gas on Uranus.
This break has been brought to you by Stayfic Wellness Group. This is a great time to go and
I'm going to
get
save
a
this story.
personal health analysis. Look, let's make sure that you can actually lose weight and be healthy this summer. Wouldn't it be nice to actually get the down and dirty of what you need to do that doesn't require tons of medication? And it doesn't. Also by Magic Wash with the ceramic car wash. It sheets water and dirt off your car so it stays cleaner longer. 2 locations in Layton and South Ogden. And by Brio Technologies, your experts in lighting, sound, and video at brioaudiovisual.com.
Nice job. Hollywood Connection time. Hollywood Connection. There has been a birth, a boy.
Wait, we have a snazzy opening for this.
I'm not sure if we do. If we do, roll it. If we don't, we'll go right on to the royal family.
See, it's fancy. I had to use it. It's Connect Heating and Air Hollywood Connection. By the way, you just go to Utah Heating and Cooling. They have a $39 tune-up special right now for your air conditioner. It can save you hundreds of dollars in wasted energy bills this
All right.
summer.
If only the story comes from England. If only we had a British person working. Wait a minute.
If only we did, who could explain the nuances of the royal
There's
birth.
been a royal birth.
Actually, you know what? They actually...
No, go ahead and sit here.
No, Daisy...
A royal birth.
I remember a while ago, but I remember when they wouldn't even call it a birth or a pregnancy, they would call it the blessed event. Why was there an issue with admitting that a royal person was pregnant?
Is that real in England?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
No.
God.
Wait a
It
minute,
was
wait.
during Princess
She's-
Diana and...
Wait a minute. She's the English person.
Well, I know, but during
Not
Princess
you.
Diana, they talked about it all the time.
Were
They-
you in England during Princess Diana's birth?
Yeah.
She was probably a toddler.
Yes. You mean,
was-
yeah.
She was probably a
Did you ever
toddler.
hear those words, which Erin just said?
No, I don't think so. Not that I remember. But,
You were what, 3?
well, you mean when William and Harry were born? Or when, well, let's see.
You were a toddler kitten. Come on.
So they got married in 81.
I'm not
didn't
sure.
they?
I don't remember.
Is it a big deal? I mean, how big a deal is this? I mean,
Huge deal.
huge.
Explain why.
Because British people love to get excited. Like, they
Well, who
love to, like, put little, English flags on their lawns and have parties and drink champagne. And they're just going over the top right now because first little baby boy is born
Right.
and then Harry and Meghan are getting married.
And
So
then-
It's like kid number 3. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, especially
But-
not this sweet child. But by kid number 3, you think they'd be going, oh yeah, Kate and
oh, people just love it.
But
They
my,
get-
so
William
the
got
point,
another kid.
the
It's
point,
great.
the point is that this used to be such huge thing because this is the ruler and
yeah.
could be. I think he's what, 5th or
This
3rd.
little love is 5th, yeah.
Fifth
So he
in
hasn't
line.
got a lot of a chance, but
That's adorable. You know the thing that made me sad though is that, and I think they make them do it like as a lesson or something. Like you should do this, but because I've seen this before with the royalty, where they had the baby and then they busted them out of the hospital like
Yeah.
within 8 or 10 hours, and I'm like, can she just have one night to sleep without
Yeah.
everyone? It was like it seemed really mean to me.
and everyone's freaking out about that. But then here's the other thing about the royals is, because everyone on Facebook, especially in England, is like, I would have been wearing like massive maternity knickers and have vomit in
Pretty
my
much,
hair
yeah.
and all this, and that's just the dad,
Exactly.
And, but here's the thing about Kate. So, I mean, she's not in there blow drying her own hair, right?
This is true also.
She
This
gives
is true.
birth, and
This
then
is
someone
true.
probably goes in and does her hair. And the thing that people are saying is quite lovely is that, so when Diana left the hospital with Harry, she was wearing a red dress, very similar to the one.
Oh, that's true.
that's
So
sweet.
second son,
Right,
you know.
right.
Oh, that's
But
sweet.
I'm sure that she had a little rest and then had her hair done, her makeup done,
Well, we're not even going to count my delivery because it was a mess.
Was
From
it?
beginning to finish, emergency C-section, a week and a half in ICU. I mean, let's not even
Yeah.
go there. But for most normal women, friends and sisters and family, after 12 hours, they're still pretty wrung out. I'm still sitting there holding their hand. They're like, just leave me alone and let me lie very still.
Yeah.
It's hard to picture. They're like, well, let's go. I mean,
Well, the other thing is as well, she is going home not to 3 screaming children. She's going home to at least 1 full-time nanny, probably a night
true.
nurse, I don't feel too bad for her.
Did you see that one couple that was hysterical? Because, all the paparazzi are out there like, tell them it's so dang funny.
Well, I didn't read the article, but basically it was this poor couple whose child was born in I think it's the Lido wing or the Lido, I think. And all the press are outside and they leave and they're like, oh, hello.
And like,
And it's
cameras are
not-
clicking like crazy and they're like,
They thought they were,
It's
yeah.
not William and Kate.
Oh, that's so
Cutest
funny.
thing ever.
and they looked really sweet. They were really game about it, but they're kind of like, no.
But she probably didn't have the glam
I
squad
know.
doing her up,
She
Oh
had
my
big
gosh.
knickers on.
Yeah, she had her
Probably,
maternity
yeah.
knickers on, vomit in her
I'm
hair.
sure she did.
All right, well, I'm glad it's a big deal.
Oh, that's so funny. Did they name the baby yet? Do we know his name?
Oh, this is
no.
another big deal, isn't it?
Another big deal. The
'Cause
thing
it always
that
has
everyone's
meaning, right?
arguing about is like, okay, does the Queen actually like say what the baby's going to be called?
Really?
And I think the
Really?
answer,
Do they do that?
Well, no, not really. I mean, they're not going to call the baby like Crayon or Stone. It's going to be Arthur,
Something solid.
Thomas,
After maybe a
Albert.
relative.
I think Albert is the favorite, or Arthur.
Right.
It's an A name.
That kid is not going to date if his name is Arthur. I don't care.
Excuse
if
me,
he's a royal
excuse
or
me.
not.
He's a prince. He's going to
Hey,
date.
Arthur. I'm
he's gonna-
Arthur. You want to go
Yeah.
out on a date?
Yeah,
I don't care if
seriously.
you're. I don't
But
care if
he
you're.
is
a
Excuse
royal.
me,
a-
excuse
he
me.
is a prince.
This is my castle. We're dating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
And look at George. I'm so in love with George. Like
He is adorable. This is true.
He's so cute. He's so cute.
He is so adorable.
Right.
So
Okay.
one of those, I think what it is the Queen probably is like, okay, you could pick from these names rather than saying you will call your baby.
But even so, even given a list like pick out of that, I would still feel like, what if I want to name him after my uncle or something?
Yeah.
You don't get any of that, huh?
Yeah, as long as she doesn't name him after one of the corgis.
Oh yeah.
Are
one
you
of the
impressed that I know
corgis.
that?
Yeah. I
She
love
has an army, a herd of
it.
corgis.
Herd of corgis.
Instead of the crazy cat lady, she's the crazy quirky
Yeah.
lady.
When she gets on the plane, the royal plane, I don't know
Yeah.
what it's called, but those steps leading up, there's like 15 dogs
They're all
chasing
like-
her.
Oh
That's
yeah,
so
they're
cute.
so cute.
All right,
as well,
Daisy.
aren't they?
Thank you so
Yay.
much.
Yay, thank you for the explanation. I'm very, very happy
Now
now.
we know.
At least we know more.
That's
This
your
one. Yeah,
chair,
that's
right?
good. All right.
That's so funny. I had no idea. I
Of
didn't know
what?
that the queen was the one who named him.
Well, she said sort of.
I know, but even if you're given a list, it's like, well, can I name him like Steve or I guess not. All right, Daisy actually is in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom and hopefully is scampered back by now. She is brought to you by New Millennium Financial Group. This is a good time to check on your financial fitness. Get that? It's kind of catchy, huh? UtahsFinancialPlanner.com. Also by StayFit Wellness Clinic. Make sure you get a personalized health analysis. You can do so much better for yourself and without medication. And Fink and McGregor, it's mortgages made simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. You're going to find out all kinds of amazing information within 4 minutes, and someone can call you back within the next business day. Daisy, my dear, what is going on?
Thanks again, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making news in the US and around the world on Tuesday, April 24th on GephartDaily.com. 10 people were killed and 15 others injured when a van plowed into pedestrians in Toronto Monday. Police say the crash happened at a busy downtown intersection about 1:30 p.m. and appeared to be an intentional act. Toronto police have identified the suspect as 25-year-old Alec Minassian. He fled from the scene but was arrested Monday afternoon after a tense showdown with police. Authorities have yet to reveal a motive in the attack. Police in Nashville have arrested the man they say killed 4 people at a Tennessee Waffle House early Sunday morning. The 29-year-old suspect was arrested in a field less than a mile from the site of the shootings after being spotted by a nearby construction crew. A background check revealed the gunman had previously been arrested by the U.S. Secret Service after breaching a security area outside the White House last year. He allegedly told officers that he was hoping to meet with Donald Trump. And former President George H.W. Bush remains hospitalized with a serious blood infection just 2 days after the funeral of his 92-year-old wife, Barbara. A Bush family spokesman said Bush 41 was admitted to Houston Methodist Hospital on Sunday morning, where doctors have been treating him for possible sepsis. According to the doctors, the former president is responding to treatments and appears to be recovering. And time now for a look at your Wasatch Front forecast, brought to you by Brea Technologies, Utah's #1 audiovisual specialists, and by Magic Wash, home of the long-lasting ceramic car wash, with an outlet in South Ogden and a brand new state-of-the-art facility on Antelope Drive in Layton. If you want to soap up your buggy, now is the time to do it. We're looking at blue skies and sunshine all week long, with temps reaching the 80s by the weekend. There's a slight chance of thunderstorms, but mostly in the mountains and higher elevations. Otherwise, we're looking at a fantastic forecast. Time to get out there and frolic. That's it for now. For more news across the nation and around the world 24/7, go to GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
All righty, thank you, Daisy. I got to think about President Bush. They're calling it broken heart syndrome.
I've heard about this before.
I know, right? I mean, obviously he has the troubles and he has other medical.
He's had several issues, but he is also very, very extraordinarily old. It's not surprising.
Yes. But that's what they talked about. I know there's all these outside things, but I thought.
Well, he and Barbara have been together for, 70 years?
70 plus. I mean.
And you picture being without that person that you're more or less literally fused to at this point.
She was a pistol, man.
I know.
Have you heard during the last week, all the stories about her? It's just like, you can say anything you want about her, but it was like, you said something, but she's like, yeah, I'm coming. Well, and everyone knew it, too.
I liked her best because when they first went into office and she already had white hair, and she's like, I'm not dying it, screw you. But people started going, oh, she's like America's favorite grandma. She said, don't call me grandmother. I'm not your grandma. Oh, yeah,
she was pissed.
I loved her. I'm sorry. I thought she was hysterical.
Hey, coming up next, we're going to talk to about kids and what order you were born in. But first of all, I want to talk about Fink and McGregor. Now, Fink and McGregor, I'm not the person who does the financial stuff in our house, and rightfully so. But if you go to Fink and McGregor and you're looking for a mortgage is the biggest thing. Think about it. It's the biggest investment you have in your life is your home. And you've got to figure out where to start. Well, if you go to finkandmcgregor.com, what you have is they have a 4-minute quiz. They'll kind of give you an idea of what you make, what you owe, and there are so many loan products out there. There's a USDA, which is for steaks, right? No, there's one for agricultural loans for mortgages for homes. And he knows all of them. So if you're looking for a mortgage, if you're thinking about getting pre-qualified to buy a house, that's where you go. Just go to Fink and McGregor. All right. Third in line being born. What are you?
I was thinking, I'm the fourth, and you're the third, but you're also the youngest, which changes the entire structure.
No,
of the
it doesn't.
Order. Yes,
I don't know. What is there advantage here?
Yeah, the youngest get everything. You're the precious baby, and usually financially parents are better off by then, so you get all the good stuff.
I didn't think about that.
Julie.
Except my dad was a teacher, so yeah.
All right, never mind. You got nothing. But no, the third in line. It's funny because they talk about how it affects your birth structure-wise. Number one, you've got parents who are a little bit more experienced, and so you get a looser leash than your older siblings did.
Boy, were they upset. I'd be crawling into my bedroom window, second story, up a tree, and my parents would catch me. They go, Todd, just don't do that. And they'd walk away. And my sister was like biting a chair in half because she was so ticked off that I was getting away with stuff.
You did too.
You know why? Because
You'll
my
brag.
parents were just tired at that point.
You know, it really is true. They say they're just exhausted, but parents are more relaxed about what's going on. You tend to have a little bit tighter of a relationship with your siblings because you band together a little bit more. They're also partly responsible for your care. And so that seems to make them closer. But it's interesting, they talk to a lot of celebrities who are third liners. Robert Pattinson, for instance, was third in line, and I guess both of his older sisters contributed to the Twilight soundtracks. They're musicians. Jennifer Lawrence said, I grew up with two older brothers where it was an offense to be considered a female. And she even went on Saturday Night Live once and said, yeah, my brothers used to beat me up all the time, so I went home and I had my Oscar. And I said, look at my Oscar. So they beat me up and took it. So that's gone now.
I love her.
I thought that was the funniest thing. A supermodel, Cara Delevingne, I can never say her last name.
She doesn't need a last name.
She's really freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
She said, her older sisters mean so much to me that if one of them killed someone, I would help bury the body. And this was interesting.
Whoa.
Billy Crystal, he said, he was the youngest of three, and he said, the only thing that affected me was that one brother is 6'2" and the other is 5'10", and then there's
Him.
me.
Yeah.
He's 5'3", God bless him.
The mailman.
So it was just interesting. Oh, I know.
Did you?
Do
you guys used
It
to
wasn't
use
Harry
the
Met
story?
Sally. Which one was it?
No, the story about it. One of the kids
Oh.
looks different. And you go, oh, you're the milkman or the postal guy.
That's a terrible joke.
Though we do have a friend that I can't tell you the rest of the story. All right.
Do I know this story?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's.
No, you can't tell that story.
Okay, just
You
checking.
absolutely cannot tell that
Okay,
story.
I got it now. All right, so coming up next, Keanu Reeves.
He is the nicest man in the entire world, and if you do not know this, I will tell you why. But he's the man is an angel. It's coming up right after this. This segment's brought to you by New Millennium Financial Group. This is the perfect time to get started on your financial future. Go to utahsfinancialplanner.com. Also by Stay Fit Wellness Clinic. Imagine how nice it would be if you didn't have to live your entire life in tons of prescriptions, but you actually got healthy and well and slim again. They can help you with that. And also by Connect Heating and Air. All you have to do is go to utahheatingandcooling.com. They've got a great special right now. It's a $39 special to get a tune-up on your air conditioner, which can save you hundreds of dollars in energy bills.
All right, so let's talk about it. You got this story.
You're not getting your money back. These stories always make my heart sink, because like we've had friends who have been caught up in scams before.
Oh no,
embezzlements.
this is one of those stories.
And I mean, you had a friend who
Yeah.
basically screwed over everybody he knew, including his family. I mean,
Yeah.
took people's retirements, everything.
Right.
And so every time I see these stories, my heart clenches.
Oh, it's gonna hurt me.
Rose Child and her husband Derek went to Ease Property Management. They have a home in Springville, and I guess they got transferred to South Carolina. So the property management group rents the house for them and takes care of everything and sends them the money and blah, blah, blah.
Here we go.
And there is a bazillion of these kind of clients. Well, apparently, the letter that they all got was, we aren't going to be paying you any of your money because one of our employees embezzled thousands of dollars and fled to Russia. Now, that's the letter they first got. So this is where it was like, wait. And then the news media outlets came in and said, could you explain this? And then they got a really heavily redacted letter that was like, well, we're trying to find out details of what's happening
We don't have the
financially,
money.
but no one's getting paid right now.
Right.
And so it kind of heavily chopped back. So I'm trying to figure out where it went from. We're conducting an audit from hundreds of thousands of dollars were stolen by an employee who then fled to Russia. It's
So where does it stand now?
At this point, it stands that nobody's got any money, is where it stands. Ease Property Management. If you know somebody who's been working with them, send them our apologies, because that doesn't look really good at all.
What do you do with them?
Yeah, Keanu Reeves. Now, I love this so much. I love this man. I've always loved Keanu. Now, he's from, look at that picture. Now, here's why this is sweet. This is actually a memory that came up from a woman named Chris Johnston. And back in 1990, she was visiting California to see her boyfriend Ned play in a softball tournament. Now, she has always been a huge Keanu Reeves fan, just insane about him.
Sure.
Loved him dearly. He's, everything, like I do. And her cousin said, I know where he lives. And I guessed he lived up to in the Hollywood Hills, kind of. And ironically, if you can see behind her, it's kind of a ramshackle house, because he still lives there and it's still ramshackle. But she went and knocked on the door, and she says, at the time, I don't know what I was thinking, because today I would be arrested for trespassing, and there would be
What did she do?
Well, she went up and climbed over the gate and went up to his house and was knocking on the door. So today, these days, this is when people freak, and there's restraining
Get
orders
shot.
and cops and stuff. She goes, it was a calmer time and probably more innocent. He said that instead of calling the police on the kids for trespassing, he started a polite conversation with them and asked what was going on. And then after they realized what they were doing, they said, could you please not call the police? And he said, oh, it's all right. Why don't you come in and we'll have a beer? And he sat and talked to her and her cousin and, told how he was there for the softball tournament. And Keanu Reeves wrote a note for Ned, wishing him best wishes in the softball tournament.
What the?
And said he was an amazing guy. So they took some pictures and went to get some pictures, and she said that they overprocessed them at the 1 hour Photoshop, and she was just trembling, but she still got 3 that were good, one of which we saw. And she goes,
That's
to this day, I
funny.
can't believe it. But, he's still like
I've always
that.
heard stories about it just recently. I mean, I remember seeing he was on the subway. That's what it was. He was on the subway, and he was just looking down. It wasn't on his phone or anything. It was kind of like this, and someone took a picture of him and said,
Are you Keanu?
he's on the subway.
Well, and
Keanu Reeves.
he donates millions of dollars. He donates the
heard.
vast majority of his money to different charity things. For instance, his sister had cancer up in Canada, and he literally built an entire wing of the hospital to thank them for saving her. I mean, he's an incredible guy. He's
pretty
absolutely
amazing.
lovely. But to me, that is pretty amazing because that's right when he was really sparking and he was like big time. And so we would think at that stage people would be freaking and calling the police.
Oh, yeah.
And instead he invites them in for a beer.
You would have, like nowadays, you'd have a landmine field
Right?
around your home.
Totally,
right?
totally.
You
big
know-
dogs with big sharp teeth, maybe even a grizzly bear, the attack grizzly bear.
Shark.
Yeah,
Shark.
the land sharks.
So there's been so much information and so much spotlight on plastics in the world. Just recently, a bunch of different chains don't carry plastic straws anymore. Let's say plastic. McDonald's doesn't use styrofoam anymore. They're working towards that by 2020. All these different things. The big plastic blob in the ocean that they don't know
There's
how
two
to,
of them, the
just
plastic
don't know how
islands,
to
yeah.
clean it up, and everyone's working on it. And now they've got systems that are out there, and they're trying and they're working. But those stinking grocery bags, and in California they're illegal, and everybody carries their own, or they go with paper because paper bags, it's renewable because it's trees and they regrow, if managed correctly. So what's the deal with a new product?
Well, this one is the one that I hate the most. It's polyethylene terephthalate, which is PET. Now, the
Right.
reason why PET as a plastic is the most loathsome is this is the one that's lightweight and colorless. This is one they use like in drink bottles and in storage containers and in food storage containers and those kind of things
Right.
that off-gas all kinds of really nasty stuff, and they're not good for your children. And there's been problems they've seen with gene issues and with special
Right.
needs issues and all kinds of allergies and things. It is not a fun one. It is a bad one, and so it's basically made it one of the biggest scourges in terms of the environment because it's also extremely durable. Breaking it down is very difficult. Well, here's what they found. Some Japanese researchers, and this happens many, many times, where they're looking for something and they stumble onto something else instead.
Always.
NASA does this all the time. So what they created was an enzyme that had the ability to break down the plastic in a matter of days.
Get outta here.
As opposed to the centuries that it would naturally take to degrade
Get
in the ocean.
out of here.
So they're pursuing a patent on the enzyme so that they can develop the potential. What they want to do is increase its digestion time in order to make the enzyme bigger on a more industrial scale, because the
crazy.
enzyme, they call it the mutant enzyme.
That's
And it
cool.
works for a certain amount of time, break, and then it dissolves and goes away. So they're trying to make it so that they can see if they can make the durability of the enzyme last longer.
Right.
So they can actually release it. And the cool thing about the enzyme, it doesn't impact sea life. It doesn't impact the salinity of the ocean or any of the other properties. It doesn't
Right.
impact the temperature of the ocean. It just
Eats it.
consumes plastic.
That's so cool.
Isn't that the coolest thing?
Speaking of science,
Yes.
and I'm going to tell you this.
This is a very big story.
I'm going to tell you this before we go. This is not a funny story.
No, it's not.
Okay, so this is a very serious thing. Think about transplants. Think about heart. Lenses for your eyes. A face, an entire face.
They've done that now, which is
They've
incredible.
done an entire face. They've reattached their own fingers. We had a friend who did that because he saw it through them. Yeah.
And they came back on with
And they
stitches.
put them back on.
Yeah.
And so you think about kidneys, you think about all the different organs they can do, and then now they've done a brand new one, which they have never done before. That's enough of that picture. Basically what they've done is they had a military guy, and he hit a mine, and there was an explosion. He lost both of his legs. and the bottom part of him. And as being a man,
All of his reproductive equipment.
yes, and so basically they've been looking at this for a long time, saying, how can we do this? How can we repair this? And so they did this. They did a transplant for him.
And it was
Successful. They've done this 3 different times at 3 different hospitals. And it
Johns
is-
Hopkins, I think, was the one who patented
and
who
it
created the
is
procedure.
more complicated than you think. There's stomach wall, there's all this other stuff, and it is just an amazing story.
So this is an actual transplant of an
Yes.
organ from another person,
The whole package, I'm going to
Grafted-
say that without
Yes.
being funny.
We all know.
Everything.
Grafted onto the body of another person, and it was successful.
Successful,
They
yeah.
say that function is returning.
Yeah.
They're starting obviously with the most important ones, which would be like the urinary tract and such.
Can you
But they talked
imagine
about
this? Can you imagine this? What
I
can't
think it's
they
incredible.
do? What can't they do? Anyway, so there you go, and we appreciate
I think
you.
that's amazing news.
Yes, it is. We thank you very much for watching. If you've watched the other shows, we're sorry. Christopher's giveaway, make sure you drop a note on the show. And anything else to say?
We are happy to be back to a full hour format after our test 20-minute format that no one seemed to like, and I'm with you.
We're sorry about the full hour, too.
And really, there's nothing we can't not apologize for. So if we missed anything, please
There you
consider
go.
this the blanket apology.
We're sorry we're not better.
And we love you so much. See you tomorrow. So mature.